Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, got to get rid of our beautiful little overlays. Thank you very much for those. And we are straight back in. Map number 2, Vega Squadron versus Prosto. We had a very, very close first matchup. It looked like the Ukrainian plus Latvian mix would have been able to win this one, but it wasn't to be. Crush. Deagle in hand. Hits the first little bit of damage and actually wins the duel. It didn't look like it was going to when it started. Mir trades 2 back, evening up the scoreline.
Yeah, and Crush being a 4 HP, not going to be too great. He does make his way out towards Tetris, has the crossfire set up with Flaric as well. Bomb now going to be rotating around over here towards the A-bomb site. In through T-spawn we go. Hoochie and Kashana, they're taking their time, clearing out B. With where Kashana is, this is going to allow Hoochie to rotate off early on, but leaves a lot of pressure on JR to try and hold back the coming tide of Prosto making their way on in. And while Smite going to be tapping away on heads, Hoochie, though, does manage to claim 2 of his own very, very quickly, puts it into the one-on-one. Bomb going to be going down on the site. Has the smoke to play with. Smike peeking on out from behind the boxes, gets spotted crossing in towards CT. Diffuse kick going to be picked up by Hoochie. He might just opt to smoke this one off and try and go for it. Smoke going to miss its mark, however. Fakes it out. Smite going to be pushing on up in through CT, gets spotted, just playing around the smoke, and just going to go ahead and decapitate Hoochie there. Gets the 3k and clutches that one out 1v1 for Prosto. It's going to be them to pick themselves up the pistol. The force spike going to come in from Vega, but a good start here for Prosto after that previous map.
Yeah, as said, it's important they get straight back on the horse and continue move forward after what should have been really a map win for them. Again, we see Smike so good in these pistol rounds. I can't count how many times now he's managed to get 2 or 3 kills, and it always seems to be in sort of ladder round situations as well. So great stuff from him. We're going to see a bit of investment, but actually JR completely saving. Chopper as well. He only ever invests in the Deagle. We don't really see him get armor behind it unless the team are full buying, and then maybe he'll just go for the Deag. Again, they're going to play passively. They're going to wait, see if the CTs make any sort of move themselves. Because, well, realistically, they sort of have to. They've got pistols. They don't have utility. They don't have kits. They can't afford to just let the Ts build up. Take presence across the map. It just won't work for them. JR going to hear all the noise being made by Crush, but more of just a fake, as now middle control will come in quite late into the round. Mir will be able to hit a little bit of damage. JR, in fact, going to be able to switch over to the Deag, but nothing can be done for him. And one by one, we're actually seeing the cleanup crew, as only Kashandra is left alive. We've seen him get 4 kills with this CZ before, but not in this sort of situation.
Yeah, he's able to get 1, but then will be put to bed by Flaric. A 2-0 score, and Prosto able to convert that second round without losing too much. Smike, the only player to go down, is 1 rebuy will have to come out of this. Yeah, that is going to be irritating, but they have now the opportunity to try and farm up some money. 4 UMPs in play. No armor for anyone on Vega. This should be the case of a clean round, one where they can make some decent return on investment from these UMPs. It will be 4 players over here towards A early on. The push going in solo in through mid on the back of Crush, who is going to be tagged down to 60 HP. Now picking out towards short. Maybe going a little bit too aggressive here. He will be shut down. Now the remaining 4 players pushing out towards the A-bomb site. Flank does find the first out on a chopper. Continuing the regression on in. JR going to be the next to fall, but Mir making things costly, dropping people over from shore with the D. Gets himself a second now. Does put it into the 1-on-3. Bomb going to be going down. Kenzo attacked that extremely low. Mir grabbing that UMP to work with. Looking to still make this expensive. Spots out Flaric and CT. Just going to go ahead and decapitate him now into the 1v2. Def and Kenzo not out in the woods just yet as Mir. He's on the 3k. We know he's the master of getting 4. This time it would require 5. Bomb time are going to be too far gone. He might just look to save the AK in this scenario. He's going to be heard jumping around by Def over in CT, who takes the peek, realizes he's gone. So it will be Prosto to pick up this 3rd round. But in the process, they lose 3 players from the back of Mir, just going completely huge. Now he's got the AK saved up and an incendiary along with that Deag, which is just going to make buying into this next round that much more convenient.
JR obviously saving his money means he gets straight in on that AWP, and the amount of damage one Deagle has managed to do in the previous round meant that although the money's not bad on the T side, it's definitely not in a position where they, well, can sort of afford to buy for the next couple of rounds. So definitely a good opportunity for Vega in this. A little bit of a bonus coming in as well, as the 2 UMPs will stay in play. Good chance to make some extra money. 2 players without head armor, but at the same time, a lot more risky when it comes to this sort of round. Make that 5 players sat into the back of apps, patiently waiting. Push to be coming in, and well, now it's going to be easy. Got a little bit of support. Got a lot of players to find.
Yeah, 3 players actually rotate around over the ward B. The push can be coming on in. JR coming in with the AWP as well, but it doesn't matter because Mur's going to knock down 2, trying to get more work done. Will finally be traded out. The wall of smoke's down on this B bomb site, just dividing it in 2, but it's allowed plenty of time for the players over on A to rotate in. JR finds 1. Trades going back and forth, but ultimately all falls onto Death, who's just going to get guillotined by Chopper over towards short. It will be Vega to go ahead and find their first round on this CT side. The AWP picked up and saved for JR. The buy still able to come in from this T side. Should better get everything they need, but they are on the cusp now of being reset.
Yeah, it should be a better buy than what we saw in the last round. Plenty of utility. And a great chance to reset Vega as well. Who do keep 3 players alive. But not going to be anything really saved, as they have to spend it all on the extra utility. They need extra kits. The incendiaries they currently have, which of course will help them in this round. There's no doubt about that. But if they had to lose it, problems can definitely begin. We see this a lot from them. The early rounds are where they really struggle. It's towards the end that they seem to kick into gear. And it's been proven in the last map that they can't really afford to do that. Well, they can, because they won, but they probably shouldn't. I don't think it'll work every single time that they try. Although they do seem pretty good at overtime so far, winning cash both times in the last 2 best of 3s they played in OT. Bush going to come out in towards middle, trying to challenge for control once again. Support for the CT side from short in the form of Mir. It was an absolute force in that last map. 2 seconds left. See a boost into window, but Mir is going to be around that area. And already we're going to see control of A ramp actually taken as they look to split in.
Yeah, Crush next to fall over in mid. The push going to be very slow and disjointed and just chipped away as JR raining death from afar, locking these guys down from jungle. Flaric, it all falls onto him. 1 versus 5, and he will fall to Kashanda. That's going to be Vega to go ahead and now get themselves a second on the board. They deny any nuance of a bomb plant, and that is going to be the economy of Prosto down and out for this round. At least Flaric could buy the Deeg, which, considering they're no strangers to buying it up, wouldn't surprise me. At the same time, if he does keep this much money, they could go for the AWP in the coming rounds. And looks like he's just going to decide to... No, there you go. It does invest in the Deagle. All right, Flaric. It will be the 3 players now for Prosto over here towards the A bomb site, looking to try and head on in. 2 players waiting over in towards top mid. It's going to be Flaric and Smike. The Deeg player coupled with a Glock. And well, Crush the first man to fall, the Chopper over on ramp. The Deeg raining in damage to Mir, sorry, over towards short. And actually, Smike able to pick him off with the Glock. So they do manage to get 1. Kenza has found himself without a gun. Yeah, I think he threw it away by mistake. He tried to pick it up, but no, he's only got the knife now. Kenza threw his Glock away, and now he's, yeah, it's all going to fall into Kenza 1v4 with the knife, Rambo style.
Should be 1 in
Yeah,
this.
he's going back for it. There'll be something here for him to get. He's considering it. There you go. All right, so now he's got a Glock. He's going to go ahead and try to pick up the bomb, but it's a 1v4.
Did he weasel his way out of it?
Yeah, I fed his odds even higher with the knife, if I'm honest with you. There you go. He will go down to Chopper. And that is going to be a 3rd. The equalizer found here for Vega. The buy can come in from Prosto, however, so it should be all good.
Not going to have an AWP in this round. CT side as well, with 4 and 5 surviving in the last 2 rounds, so their money has started to spike. The amount that they have. Gun also be dropped as well. Yeah, in a decent position with all the utility he desires. Mid control looking to be challenged. No AWP holding mid. now, as it will be on those stairs looking towards Palace. Crush. Taking some early positioning over towards this B-app spot. The nade thrown in, which may do a bit of damage as well. Actually hits him for 58. That's a nasty tag. That's a dirty nade. Already early damage done.
Yeah, Prost, they're really struggling there to gain much in this round. They're trying to fight for control of mid. They just haven't been eager to push on down. Every single time they have, they've been slaughtered from this crossfire between short and connector. Well, this time it's Def coming out through lower tunnel. Should be spotted actually by Mir, playing it from the ladder room. Slowly but surely grabbing control of middle. Time going to be ticking away though. 44 seconds left for them in this round. Now looking to try and make that up through connector. Mir able to find the first. Looking to try and continue his reign of tyranny out and towards mid. Will be traded out by Flaric. It's Kashanda and Chopper within the side to be mopping these players up. Last player is going to be Kenza as all eyes fall onto him. Just going to be chipped away at. Actually tagged down very low and then finished off by Chopper. That's Vega with a fourth. The reset once again felt now by Prosto as Vega look to try and propel themselves onto a fifth in this round.
Yeah, the T side, I feel like they're getting quite bogged down in middle, and every single time we actually see two different players check for Mir, but he's able to just get away with too much, not only taking one down, slowing the push, which of course they lead very late, and then after that they just sort of run into the blender, as it seems the CT just home in on their position and work out where they are. Yeah, pistols once more. Crush, tagged low, but it's Smike to win the opening duel, quickly traded out from Mir. Two-player aggression on short, not working out so far, at least for CT side. They are set up over in apps as well. I think that's where the hit comes in onto Crush. Leg shotted early in the round. Still got Def looking to try and find somebody over towards this ramp position. Really able to spot too much out, and they may actually opt to just go pushing towards this AWP. You can see JR just trying to spot out players using the extra utility he has, which has now been expended. The only problem is he is going to be set up, and it needs to be a very quick trade after this first shot comes in.
And there you go, the trade is going to come through. Flaric to decapitate JR with the dig. Pushy in towards the site now. It's going to be Kenzo, the man with the plan. Has the open with a quick flick. Drops out Mir. Now it's into the 2-on-2. Things getting interesting here in this round. Chopper going to be jumping on in as they look to try and take the fight to the two remaining players for Prosto. Isolating them on the site, and Kashanda around the corner with the M4. Chopper to finish things with that P250. They go ahead and find both the frags, and Vega will get themselves a fifth, but it is going to be a hard-fought loss from Prosto, who do a whole bunch of damage. Dropping out 3 rifles in that round is going to keep Vega on their toes at least. Buy will be able to come in, no problem from either side. Plenty of cash brought up for Vega early on, so the buy is going to be coming on down. Now the AWP carried forward as well to JR, still with plenty of money in their banks, allowing them to buy into the rounds to come. Prosto as well going to be at least secure in the fact that with the loss bonus, they can buy up into next round. Won't be great though.
Mike going to go for what looks like, or looked like the timing shot with the AWP, but unable to find anything as of yet. JR. Similarly, taking an aggressive position on mid. Now, there hasn't been any sort of challenge. In fact, the T's playing this very passively, waiting for such a push. Flashbang going to come in. Will leave Flaric blind. Got Mir. Still very, very close, but he doesn't actually have to push from here. Just stay and just wait for them to try and take this corner. And the problem with that is that we've seen so much mid-control attempted. Either way, we are going to see the AWP defending off as well. Another kill's coming over on the A site. And it really looks like the T's are just getting bogged down. A lot of the time when they were winning rounds on cash, it was these very aggressive pushes, working the picks. But instead, they're trying very hard to actually have control of mid for the majority of these rounds, and it doesn't seem to be working. A push onto B will net Crush a kill at least. But he's so low that should be a trade at some point. Flourish actually going to be able to cross onto short. Could be interesting as Mir caught out with a smoke in his hand. JR, however, will trade it back. He's dropped the bomb as well.
Yeah, Crush making his way out in towards B. Bomb going to be picked up by Smike, who charges into the site. Going to go ahead and plant it, and actually always touching JR. Crush going to finish him off. Into the 2-on-2 we go. Smike, the first man to fall. It all falls on the Crush. 7 HP in a dream, trying to clutch this one out and win this 4th round out for Prosto. The bomb plant denied, and no, Crush will fall. And as I said, the buy can come into this round. They can get the AWP still if they'd like, but no, they're going to make the decision to go with rifles across the board. That, to me, is suggestive that they want to try a bit of a faster play.
I'd like to see them execute onto the A site. Smoke off, make sure you can get all the angles covered. Cassandra twice now. Really? And this could be a big problem if they actually go to execute properly, because he might be a little bit far behind. I can't imagine he's done this on purpose. Gonna realize, or is this genuinely just some sort of weird cockiness that he's just forgotten his rifle once again? They got money, got lots of money to buy back up. Either way, they are going to be pushing it onto this site, and he's got nothing but an eagle. Means he's going to have a lot to do. The push will be in. Already we're going to see Chopper defending him off, doing the damage with the rifle, looking for a second as well, and will get it and drop the bomb. Chandra even going to be able to get one, and maybe this is the new strategy. Forget to buy your gun, but win it anyway. Either way, though, Def managing to get 2. Yet to take a lick of damage, so maybe he can put a little bit more, but they're going to peek him together. They're going to line up, and Hootie will even take down his teammate, who runs across at the end, but it doesn't matter. Vega, they still get themselves another round. We are actually going to see a pause come in from Prosto.
I mean, at this point, it almost looks like the map picks were inverted. You know, we're seeing now very dominant performance from Vega, Prosto being the ones to fall completely silent. They don't even have money to buy up into this round. They've 3 players who can, 2 who can't. So I imagine we're going to see them try and go for it. But if they do, they're going to have no money left for the next if they lose this, which could then see Vega very easily reach a sort of 9-3 scoreline before a buy even appears on the cards for Prosto. And yeah, I mean, when we saw them on Cash, it went through to OT. That was, of course, the map pick of Vega, one that they've done very well and have a very good record on. Seeing it now, Mirage, the map pick of Prosto, I was expecting a hell of a lot more after how close Cash was. And right now, they're just kind of falling short, which, when you think about how strong we know that Vega's T-sides are, you know, I do think it's fairly scary. You're already being 7-3. They are going to make the decision to force buy down to $2,000, which I like. We see too many of these teams, when they start to fall behind, just go for the full buys, buying up what they can as often as they can. And Prosto actually playing this one very smart. Don't want to risk allowing that 9-3 scoreline. Instead, going to go for the force into this one. They can still put up some heavy resistance. We saw them nearly win out that round a couple of rounds ago in round 8. Well, now they're going to rush towards B. Actually up to find the first. They're going to try and shut this one down. 3 players left. Charging on through. Actually making things difficult. Does pick up a second. Trader can try and come in as Mir's already in the site, and then there's the nade to finish it. Their fate sealed. An 8-3 scoreline, but a full buy can come in this round, including the AWP if they would like, although it looks like once again they might be trying to steer away from it. Oh no, never mind. Smike going to be picking that one up. Curious as to why it wasn't dropped over. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't have head armor, which does make him fairly suspect to these M4s. But other than that, it's a much better buy than if they'd fully bought in the last.
Yeah, the challenge is going to be towards middle. The AWP of Smike is going to be homed in on that position. Or his counterpart actually going to be taking further aggression. But he's supporting Chopper. He set him up over towards ramp. And the thing is, with all this mid control being attempted by Prosto, the big thing that we're seeing from Vega is the ability to take other portions of the map away from them. And it's just so problematic when they go for these setups later in the round. Crush, he's been attempting to win these duels over towards B, and after being one of the heavy hitters in the previous map, up there right at the top, ending around that 40 kill marker, he's currently sat on 3, bottom of the board. He really could be the difference if he's able to step up with him. This time, Flaric, 1-8 kills. No real support from Kenza either. Another person who is performing magnificently. But Looking like they're about to clear out quite a few positions onto short, and this could be perfect. They've got a nice little read. They've taken mid control, and both entries go their way.
Yeah, this could be the turning point. Def as well, waiting in the wings to catch off these rotating players. JR going to go down, and now it's the 2-on-5 in this retake. I doubt we're even going to see Vega try and attempt this one. Chopper looking to try and find some exit damages. Kashano is going to go down, leaving it now all on his shoulders. And in the 1v5, looking to try and make things costly. He knows that he can keep the economy of Prosto down low if he finds a couple of exit frags. I mean, they can still afford to buy up in the next round regardless, Vega. Prosto, I mean, it's fairly pivotal that they do manage to keep 5 players alive here if they want to start to build that money up. And it looks like they are going to be allowed to. Almost everyone leaving the site. Chopper checks it, doesn't spot anyone out, and will just save up the M4. A 4th found, though, for Prosto here. This could be the turning point. I mean, an 8-7 is still possible at this point in time. The buy coming in from Vega, though, they're still a long way from having this economy broken. And that's going to be the only real factor making these difficult, though, for Prosto.
I was wondering if Chopper was going to go for the ninja there. He looked tempted when it came down to the late stage in that round, as there was nobody on the site, but I don't think he quite had enough time. He's currently having a wonderful performance as well. 15-4 Mirage, and this is a good map for them. It's sort of been skewed a little bit by the performance we saw yesterday. JR, I think, peeking into the Molotov, actually goes down very early in this round, and because of it, we're going to see Mir try and counter that with some more aggression, taking presence in mid. Complete switch up to what we saw last round, where it was abandoned very early on. Seeing a rotation from the bomb through T-spawn. Warp actually given over to Chopper as well. Clearly feeling confident at the moment. Cassandra over to the rifle. Not a deagle this time. Still, there's Crush over on B, and because of that, he's making so much noise that he's actually holding 2 players over towards his site, meaning that Cassandra and Chopper are likely to have an awful lot to do in just a moment, as we see 3 players on ramp, 1 sitting in Palace. Crush actually has the opportunity to duck down as well and look to try and flank these players. And in fact, there's going to be no one on this A site when they actually push out.
Yeah, only Chopper within earshot. They've dedicated so many players to clearing out lower tunnels, and when they finally get the information, it's going to be too little too late. It's now Chopper here alone trying to hold these guys back. They've already crossed into the site, and he has to watch out because there is a player over in towards top mid as well. Def just holding the angle within. Never mind, doesn't matter. Chopper going to fall anyway. Will be the first man down. It's a 3 versus 4 in the retake. Mir, Huchi, and Kashana rotating in from B. Def still doing damage. Drops out the lone mid player, leaving it now on Mir and Huchi, the 2 players who have been doing phenomenally well for Vega. Mir going to be the first to fall, and Huchi follows subsequently. Prosto arrived with a 5th and are now picking up pace. Mir can't afford to buy into this round. The economy of Vega going to be bottomed out once they have invested. Does mean that now Prosto, they're going to be the team in the driving seat.
I don't like that push from Vega. I understand that they want to try and win that round, and they have some backup cash to actually buy anyway. But I don't like seeing players just waste weaponry, and going into the next round, it could actually cost them if they're unable to convert this one. I think it was just silly to try and push in at that latter stage of the round, especially when there's only 2 of you in a situation versus 4. Now, interestingly, 3 players in Palace. This is not something you see too often. Gonna be waiting behind the smoke. Def. Like he's tempted to go pushing through, and they will. Chopper may be caught out here, but they don't check properly. That's actually going to let the first kill go the way of this CT side, but it's quickly traded back. Kenza with 2. He's definitely woken up in the last couple of rounds, and they've needed it. JR still on that AWP, and the remaining players do have rifles. A kit on Mir, along with an incendiary, which could prove crucial. But the bomb yet to go down. All the T's are waiting. The second they attempt to plant is the most likely position for the pounce to come in, but JR is actually going to catch Smike as well. Bomb going to be going down for Kenza. This is where they know there can only be 1 player actually looking towards them, so they take a little bit of control. Kenza not going to be overly blind by this push, and actually manages to get 1. His teammate will be traded out, but Kenza does it all! He aces! Takes down every single player in this round, and I was calling for him to step up just moments ago. And that's pretty much the best way you can do it.
Kenza just did a whole team's job on his own. Not only because he got the ace, he got the bomb plant as well. He's just a flat-out MVP. And that is Prosto to go ahead and pick themselves up a 6. I said an A7 was possible. Tom, I'm going to be honest with you. When I said it, I really didn't think it was. And they've gone ahead and proved us wrong once again. They've really picked things up in these last couple of rounds, winning 3 consecutively. Now find themselves in the driving seat. Vega, with no money, just force buying down into the last round of the half. Well, already damage done out on Twitch. He has to fall on back in towards this B bomb site. Has Mir here with him. Trying to help out. The rotate already coming in from Chopper with that Deeg. They're going to be the first man down as Crush spots him out. Eliminates him early on. And once again, I mean, I think a bit of an over-rotate coming from Vega. They try to take the gamble, but so early on and with so little reasoning, as Crush is just being allowed to find these frags in the B-bomb site. They have to rotate players in, but they're creating these issues with the aggression. And there's a gap in that smoke. Smike able to find Chopper over towards Short. Now the push comes in towards B. There is one player here in the form of JR. Just biding his time, waiting for these guys to cross, and they are going to check the angle, but Kenzo, he goes for the pre-fire, doesn't find anyone now, assuming it's clear. It's going to allow JR to come in from behind. He actually lets the bomb go down. Spots out the first. Still there's more left to do, and Flaric swiftly trades that out. It will be an 8-7 half. Prosto, fantastic return to form in his last couple of rounds. They go from picking up not a single rifle round on their T side to suddenly picking up 4 in a row, right when they needed to.
Great stuff from them. And once more, you see a 3 core of players beginning to lead the front line of this team. Smike is always a part of it, and Kenza with that ace just a round ago, showing what he can do. And that last round is pretty much exactly what I was saying. Like, if they saved 2 rifles, they would have had a much better buy going into that one. But overly facing in a couple of these rounds, possibly overconfidence going forward after winning 8 rounds in a row. And they actually hand away the last few. And as you said, sort of in the last round, it was more just attempting to force the issue. In a sense, because they had to, because their weaponry was so weak. But at the same time, just running through smokes, the likelihood is you're not going to get away with that, especially up in those B-apps where Crush had been waiting there every single round. It didn't seem like planned aggression. It was more just silly plays. And, well, they've left themselves in a position where they're only 1 round in the lead. They do go onto the T side. And similarly to Cash, Mirage is one of those maps where you can have a lot of basic strategies, trading effectively. And if you're fundamentally good and work together, have a decent synergy, which Vega definitely have, it can work out. Well, synergy, as they all rush B, every single player pushing onto the site to await them. Make that only 1, as Flaric is now the only one left alive. But there he goes, Smike as well. Trading back to, leaving it onto Cassandra. Now, Smike not going to overextend in this situation, waiting, but he will still get taken down. Cassandra already with his 3rd kill will need to ace to win this round. Actually spot out the other player now with the knowledge of at least where one of these players are.
Yeah, Kenzo doesn't want to actually push up through short just yet. Instead, they're playing this almost cat and mouse style of back and forth. And he's going to actually now loop around to join up with Def, but this is going to allow Cassandra to push up short and start to clear things out. And this could give him another angle to come and attack from and actually take the aggression to Prosto or rotate around over towards this B-bomb site. A-bomb site, sorry. Pushing up through short, going to clear out everything, and now should realize the rotates come through. They're just going to all bypass each other as Prosto look to push in towards B. Cassandra already underway out towards this A-bomb. So with the bomb planted, things get a little bit scary here for Prosto. Kenzo having a great game, Def as well having a decent one, but these players need to step up now. With bomb planted, they're rotating all the way from B, so the rotate's going to take a while to even get there. Time is going to be of the essence. They have to be fast, and with so many angles left to clear, it is going to be tricky. Cassandra just has to play for this defuse. They've got the smoke on Def. They can just look to smoke it off and try and stick this, and well, the smoke going to go down. Def actually missing the bomb. Kenzo just going to tap out Cassandra though, so it does not matter. Defuse comes on in, and Prosto win out the pistol round. This should now allow them to be propelled into the lead.
Smike in pistol rounds always seems to get a couple. Helped by Flaric and finished off by Kenza. But Cassandra in that situation getting 3 kills and getting a bomb plant definitely makes things a little bit more interesting going into the next round. Now with 1900 added in, He could have bought an AWP with some Kevlar behind it, but decides that he'll drop a Deagle for Mir. And to be honest, a lot of the time that's been a worthy investment. We'll see if Smike is going to prove me wrong.
Yeah, well, Vega, they're trying to out control the middle once again. Hoochie going to be up in towards Palace. Kenzo just on the other side of the wall there, so close to him. Does take the peek out. Just going to go and dispatch of one player already. The man advantage taken. No possibility to trade this one back. And Smike tapping away, drops out Mir and the boost up towards window. Now they know that there's players in mid on the back of this. Chopper holding the close angle. Connector going to be spotted out. Does decapitate Smike, but he's still got work to do. Is able to pick up the M4, but just going to be chipped away at. Has to watch out from the player up in Palace. He takes the peek out. Ken's going to be tagged down very low. JR on 1 HP. Kashan on 88. Going to have the M4 in hand as they still are presented with a bit of a fighting chance into this round to try and make something happen and deal more damage. Not with Death on the site, just tap it away. He's also been tagged down low. Now the push comes in from behind from Flaric and will drop out Kashanda. They do a lot of damage in that round, but only get one kill. It will be a tiny bit of economic damage done. A Smike did lose the rifle there. But now the buy comes in from Vega. It's AKs across the board. A little bit of utility. With such little utility, I imagine we're just going to see a fast execute out on towards one of these sites. They can't really sustain anything slow.
Mike. Hot flashed in, but caught. We'll throw down the smoke to give him vision over the top. Cassandra trying to take some peeks into window, but won't be able to spot anything yet. They have pretty much got mid control at the moment, although Crush looking to take some further aggression on the other side of the map. He pushes aggressively into apartments, won't spot anything out. The deep smoke beginning to fade, so he will fall back in the meantime. Mir. This time it's a deep connector smoke, not the one thrown by the CTs, which gives them vision over the top. This one allows nothing. Mike just having to hold. Chopper actually up in Palace as we slowly build into an A execute. Kenza only with a UMP. He is going to be playing close angles, which will set him up nicely. Now, we see the push come in.
Depp would open things up. The trade does come in from JR as Hoochie. Then he'll extend out onto Depp, but it's Smike from CT to claim one. Gets a second, doing so much damage here. Mir does come on round from window to try and help out, but it's Hoochie to find the frag. Will be the 2-on-2. P comes in from Mir and he's going to be punished for that by Flaric, as now it all falls onto Hoochie in this 1 versus 2. Bomb is going to be planted for mid as he loops on round. They should know exactly what's going on. They have the smoke on Flaric to go for the defuse as well. Although it's planted, it can just be planted from ramps, so they have to watch out. But as those shots rally on through, now they know where Hoochie is. The pop flash comes on out, and Crush is going to be sticking the defuse. Hoochie can't find the shot, and Flaric will finish him. Frosto now picking themselves up a 10th. Their CT side looking fantastic as the economy of Vega gets bottomed out once more, and they're going to force buy down to $2,000. They're now getting, okay, they're going to force buy down completely. On JR at least. But everyone else is buying down so they can still afford to buy. I mean, Tom, it's weird. Vega are still playing this very confidently and going for a lot of these aggressive peaks, and I think they're throwing some of these rounds away. I mean, even in that one there, you saw Mir tried to catch the rotators off guard, which I get it, it does make sense, but they knew he was in window. There was no need for him to go ahead and peek the murder hole. It's an incredibly hard angle to try and, retake from. Very rarely do you see players head on in through the actual murder hole itself and manage to kill the player if there is a player watching it. So a little bit curious as to why that peak was taken. It threw away the 2-on-2 retake and put it into the 1-on-2. And there's been a couple of situations, like even in their CT side, when they started to throw these rounds away. Do you think maybe they're a little bit overconfident?
I think it comes down to partly a bit of their style, but also, yes, I do think some of the faces they do are a little bit ridiculous. Because you have to take into consideration, this team, they like to take the battles. There are some players that will play passively, work off time, and just try and bait their teammates or opponents into positions. But with this team, they always seem to be taking the fights. And sometimes, if you try and switch up away from what you're confident doing, you'll actually end up playing worse. So, it is a sort of 50-50. A lot of the time, we see them actually pull off these ridiculous plays that shouldn't really be working. The problem is, I think Frosto have actually got to the point where they know they're coming. Like, you saw that fight that Mir took. There was no attempt to push into jungle from the CT player, because he knew that somebody was going to come and try and fight him for it. And actually, Mir's position there should have been one to just hold in jungle. Most players would do that. I'd say 90% wouldn't peek into that angle because it makes logically no sense. But he does, because that's just the sort of player he is. I feel like if he started playing passively, it might actually work out worse. Either way, they don't manage to win the round. They've invested into pistols. They had quite a bit of utility. JR still with quite a lot, and I think it's going to be utilized over towards this B site.
See, JR goes running out towards A on his own with all the utility for Vega and goes down. Yeah, okay, but I mean, so they could have used it in towards the B bomb site that much more as Crush just mops these guys up. It's all on Chopper. He does get one with the Digas, he always does. And then trades out instantly with Spike. Now, I mean, I know they were trying to sell the fake there by having JR head over towards A with all the utility on his back and throw that in. Was still a weird call to make. If you're going to have a player invest that much, why not then have them to stick? I mean, I get, you know, they're trying to sell the fake, but I just think, you know, all you really need to sell a fake is maybe a couple of smokes, as opposed to having someone invested in pretty much everything you would need. But anyway, regardless, the round does get away with Frosto. It's going to be the up on Smike. Rifles for the rest of the guys. And Vega, they've got AKs across the board. Smoke goes down early on over a mid to allow them to cross on out. Smike watching that. Has to be careful as now JR takes the peek on out in towards middle and does start to push down. A little bit more of a faster play coming in from Vega, trying to catch Posto off guard, not playing it as slowly as they happen, as they've already got JR up and into connector, facing off versus Death. Smike trying to turn his attention out through window. Is going to be isolated and actually isn't in a great spot to trade things out if Death does go down. And within the site, it's going to be Kenzor trying to assist his teammates as best he can. Death has been tagged down low and forced back. Window control going to be going the way of Mir as he does get boosted on up. Looking at collapsing towards the A-bomb site. Smike raiding in Death though from short. Finds one onto Kashana. No trade just yet, but Mir able to find the equalizer. Kenzel goes down in CT, and this is the A-bomb site opened up. They've got the man advised. The bomb's going to be allowed to go down. They're holding the murder hole this time as Mir finds the first out on a Smike, trying to get more done. They can hear Flaric up in ladder room. This round should go the way of Vega as it all falls onto Flaric. 1v4, Mir on a 3k, looking for the fourth.
Yeah, does actually go peeking back in through the same position again, and Flaric almost making things interesting. But we do actually see in that round the difference. So when they have the advantage and players are attempting to rotate in, Mir just holds. He just waits up until that last kill, which was a little bit sketchy, attempting to try and go for that peak, but still just showed that he can sort of hold the restraint. However, still not going to be a flawless buy for the T side. Chandra will be dropped a Galil. In terms of utility and the rest of the players, everything's pretty much perfect. And the CTs now on the brink themselves. The loser of this round going to have to eco or go for a risky force buy in the next. Mike setting up over towards B with this AWP. Trying to play that rotational role. And may actually be able to catch Hoots as he goes for the peak. But after the AWP is spotted, they're not going to go refacing that angle again. At least for now. And if anything, that may not be the best thing, because we know that Smike, once missing a shot, normally rotates his position, tries to find a different angle to take, catch somebody else in a different spot. And actually, with the smokes fading in middle, he has a good chance and almost gets it on the timing. Very, very close. Catching out Mir. And instead, he's going to sneak past, get himself towards short.
In the meantime, Hoochie demolishes the A-side players, takes them both down. It is going to be the 3-on-5 in the retake, and the Molotov to hold back Crush as he tries to push one in. Going to be delayed, but he does manage to pick up one on Hoochie, who takes that aggressive peek around the corner. Does turn it into the 3-on-4. Pop Flash comes out to delay this eventual CT play, and Flaric goes down. So already, I think Smike and Crush both thinking about saving and holding onto these guns. Crush just waiting in CT is going to go down, leaving it all on Smike, who finds Mir. But all that's done is ring the dinner bell. As now the players come in, they're going to look to go hunting and try and take this AWP out the hands of Smike. Chopper the one to try and challenge. I imagine if Chopper goes down, they're not going to look for anyone else, but as Smike misses that first shot, desperately tries to B-hop for his life and does go down. The AWP saved up. Vega with 10. The tac pause called in from Prosto as things get a little bit hot under the collar here and coming close to what we saw on Cash, which is a great CT side, at least initially, and then Vega starting to pull things back.
Yeah, Vega just seemed to be a late game team. It's quite peculiar, actually, how it almost takes for them to be getting destroyed for them to finally realize that they had to step up a gear, and they always seem to do it. Mir, definitely a player to just come out of the woodwork whenever problems seem to arise. And as said, it was similar to what we saw with Little, where you always need somebody to be stepping up with him. This time it's Chopper, 21 and 12, having a very good game so far on Mirage. The rest of the team not exactly lagging too far behind. And this time, well, the difference being that we don't have Crush for the CT side to sort of have those impact frags that he was so good at in the previous. Now, in this round, we're not surprised to be seeing a save. 2,400 into the bank accounts in the next round, so a buy will be available, although without an AWP. Cassandra on the Galil able to start things off as Smike looking for the trade, but doesn't really have anything to trade with. Gonna lose his life.
Did you just say lose his loaf?
No, I said life.
Ah. Well, looking to try and put this one to bread. It is going to be Vega eliminating these players over in the B site. Flaren goes down. The push now can come on through. Kenza and Def. 2 versus 5. Bomb about to go down, and the only player who's really anywhere nearby is going to be Kenza with that P250. Cassandra over in mid. Should be able to shut both of these guys down if they go rotating on in, so things going to be made that much harder for Prosta. The equalizer will be found. An 11-11 scoreline. Actually, Cassandra going to be tagged away at and has to be careful because now Kendall comes running in from behind as he finds himself stuck between a rock and a hard place, and saying that Def and Kenza both get eliminated. So 11-11 found. The equalizer comes in. The 3K for Cassandra in that round. The buy for Prosto into this one isn't even going to be that great. When you look at it, we'll be able to get, you know, the rifles up across the board. I imagine we're going to see one of these players maybe invest in just the UMP. Like, I know the FAMAS coming out for Def, which allows them that little bit of extra utility. But even then, they don't really have enough back to you know, to actually successfully hold back Vega, who've shown to be very aggressive in their T sides. They're going to try and answer some mid-aggression. Ken's going to be the man to do it as they go charging on up, and he's going to get punished for it. Still more players there to try and make a difference. Flaren goes down. Smike does get 1 in return as he looks to try and continue this mid-aggression. The nade finds damage out on Amir, who's holding the close angle, and Smike's actually going to go huge. Gets himself a second. The peak coming out from Kashana in through lower tunnels. You'd hope would have been enough to trade that out, but it isn't. And Smike being in top mid causes so many issues for Vega Squadron. They first have to try and flush him out, and he's just going to keep going. Gets himself a third. Magic Smike pulling this one through for Prosto. Kashana next man to fall as now it's all eyes on Chopper. 1v3, a round that never should have been turned the way of Prosto.
Chopper has been playing very well so far. Needs to pretty much match what we've just seen from Smike. Not going to be an easy thing to do. They've completely fallen back. Passive, not going to go for any further peaks. I think Smike's had his fair share of peaks in this round already. His quota has been fulfilled. Crush, going to be holding the angle into Apps, but actually peeks out. He goes down. As said, not been doing too well so far in this map at least. Bomb plant going to be available for Chopper, getting some extra money for the T side. No, they should have been able to buy anyway, building up a lot of cash in the last couple of rounds. Smike feeling confident going back in, but it's going to be death. Spots out Chopper, no clutch for you this time. And the diffuser will come in. The round taken by Prosto. Yeah, I think they're going to go looking for an AWP. Maybe one around the top of mid. They can find it. AK will be a minimum. Actually, that's going to be perfect. Smike, just remembering what he spotted after he slaughtered his opponents at the top of mid. CT side taking aggressive apps control once again. Now we're going to see Crush just smoking it off, try and stopping them coming in this direction. Of course, the CT side pretty much set to be reset if they had to lose this round, but the same can be said for the Ts, and that could actually set Prosto into a position to hit 14 rounds before another buy can come up for Vega Squadron. However, the same can be said, or similar at least, the Ts can win this. Aggressive push about to come in. Decent position from Crush. He's going to pop Flash out, try and blind them up, and he catches nearly every single player. Kills himself too. Flarich as well to support to get the third, and leaving JR and Cassandra in a horrible situation to try and get back in. JR will be able to get one, but that should be all, as now Cassandra alone. He spots out Crush, finds himself the first. But there's still 3 more players to find, and he's not going to be able to do it. Wonderful round from Prosto, and they will be able to keep themselves going.
Yeah, and Vega actually looking like they're going to be force buying up into this round, which is a curious decision to make, because now if they lose, it should allow Prosto to just waltz to a fairly easy 15-11 scoreline and reach that map point, taking us through to map 3 eventually if they do manage to win it out, and we don't see more overtime. Double UMP is going to be in play. Or up on JR. Kenzor spied out over in CT. He'll be the first man to fall, and Vega looking at trying to make this force buy work. Aggression out through mid. 4 players here with the push coming in through lower tunnels to try and catch off anyone off guard. Peeking out through connector. It's going to be short instead that they have to watch out for, as Flarich just holding the angle. They boost up her shield towards window. LP comes out from Def over in mid, out through connector, going to be eliminated. The 2-man advantage taken here for Vega, and a force buy that really shouldn't be working is spotted over in window. Smike trying to rotate on in, has to watch out. She's holding the close angle, and he's going to fall. Now it's all on Crush in the blink of an eye. It's a 1v5. The lone Prosto player, someone who has had a couple of key moments, would have to step up in a huge way here to win this round out. And this should be Vega to grab themselves a 12th. Crush going to fall in a round that they invested in really when arguably they shouldn't have. Does pan out.
Really not sure what just occurred from Prosto. Unable to find a single kill in that round, meaning that the Ts will build up a decent amount of cash, get themselves a much better buy. ET side now have quite a big decision on their hands, hence the pause. Do they force buy? Do they wait? And if they wait, the likelihood is they'll have far more rifles in the next round, although Smike may be struggling. Although, actually, Def could even drop him an AWP, and that is a tasty prospect for this team, considering how he's been playing. Top of the board, Flarich up alongside him. The opposing side, it's Chopper, and of course, Mir beginning to climb his way back up. Wouldn't be surprised if we see him finish top by the end in this round. We are just going to see Pistols Crush on a Deagle. A little bit of extra money left on him. Can afford to try and cause some damage, and could be very good for the team if he's able to do just that. Mir looking to try and just clean up this round alone. Currently surrounded in multiple positions, but he's just going to work from all directions. Has the support from Cassandra as well. Chopper adds another to the list of the dead. That leaves just Flarich left alone on this B site, hoping that they push. But there's really no reason to, as the A site has been completely cleaned out. The bomb can just waltz its way into the site. And, well, Flarich will be left alone, hoping to find an exit.
Yeah, and I don't think Vega are going to go hunting. They don't want to give them the opportunity to do damage. Saying that Mir going to be the deviation to that rule as per usual, but you know, even he's going to fall on back. And the reason being is that if they start to lose players and have to rebuy, then it puts them in this scenario where the scoreline will be 13-13, and the winner of this next round would be reset. And that's if you can do damage to Vega's economy. But keeping 5 alive, they are going to make some decent money in this round, and as a result, we'll be able to buy up into the next with no issue, even if they lose. Sorry, the round after. And doesn't, present the opportunity for a reset to come in. And that's only if they keep 5 players alive. If they lose, say, 2, for example, then suddenly that gets called into question. They'd be force buying if they lose the next. Meanwhile, Prosto, well, they've got money to buy up into this round. If they lose it, their economy will be reset, and that could allow Vega to reach a 15-13 scoreline, which right now means Prosto, they're the ones in the backseat. They're the ones who have to try and win this round out, much more importantly than that Vega.
AWP will be dropped, leaving Def with a FAMAS instead. Kenza on the UMP. JR will be facing off over towards ramp, at least for now. Smike around that area and actually catches Mir trying to be a little bit overzealous, running up onto short. There was little mid control other than that AWP. Cassandra looking to follow back. Hootie will actually be able to find another in the meantime over towards the B site, with Flarich still waiting. So yet to really gain too much of an advantage, especially considering he's tagged up. Still lots of utility for the T's to play with, however. 3 players on A. B site only being held by Flarich, who, as said, has been playing very well so far, but that is a lot of pressure currently on his shoulders. Utility, if used properly, could clear out both the positions of Kenza and Def. Def is the much more common to be played, so I expect that this connector push could find them, especially considering there's not really anybody watching that angle either, which means it's going to be quite problematic, especially if they manage to catch out Smike.
And Smike is about to find the first equalizer. Does come in as Def going to be Molotoved out. Kenza, he could be the difference maker. His chopper is in the site, just going to have his head removed. Smike trading things out in towards CT. On the 3K, we've seen him do some phenomenal stuff in the past. He's looking to try and replicate it once again. The bomb is going to be picked up and will go down. A 2-on-2 in the retake. She and Cassandra, both of these players trying to hold on to this round. Cassandra's completing safe, hiding in the site. Both players retaking in through CT. Cassandra now going to peek on out as Smike's in the site, spots out the other on top of the ticket, or doesn't he? How didn't you see him? Now it's the 1v1. Defuse could come in. There isn't going to be a smoke, however. He's desperately trying to find one. Does get the kit, but only gets a flashbang. But she's only 1 shot away from death, though. Fake defuse just going to be tapped on out. Time ticking away. Correct decision from Hoochie not to go ahead and peek into this, and there's so little time left that Flarich had to stick that, and Hoochie does decapitate him as a result. So it's going to be 14-13. The rebuy is coming in from Vega. No money left for Prosto, and at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if they just play for the overtime.
Yeah, they've been a team that have been pretty dedicated to their buys, and I always like to see that in Counter-Strike. Force buys happen far too often. Kenza with a little bit more than everybody else, but they've got a decent amount of loss bonus as well. I have to say, other than the fact that he didn't spot the player on ticket, that play from Cassandra is so smart. He plants the bomb in a spot that's
100%.
blatant for either connector or ramp, and then sits in a spot that has no business being there. It makes very little sense in terms of if they go for the defuse, but they're never going to expect it, and that's the great thing about it. Unfortunately, clearly he didn't have his glasses on at the beginning of that round, but Cassandra pushing back in. Def actually manages to hit the player behind him, so Hootie will be down. It's a 1-for-1 trade early, and of course, damage not going to be too much of a problem going into that final round, but if they can maybe pick up a weapon or two, that would be wonderful for the CT side to make sure they have all the goodies for the final round. Either way, we're going to look towards... Actually finds one through the edge of the smoke. Evening up. Again, he has himself armor, so if he can somehow get his hands on a rifle, that would be wonderful. Going to be heading back around. He's actually realized that this push is going to be coming in on B. Flarich doesn't have any armor to play with, so pretty much has to hit the instant headshots. Will actually get one. And now Mir being low could make things very interesting. You have to remember, Kenza has armor behind. Doesn't have a kit, of course. And 30 seconds left on the clock, but Mir, if he doesn't check this angle, could actually be going down. The bomb dropped back towards Apps. JR has spotted the player, but gets tagged down himself. Both players very low at this point as they go back to try and retrieve the bomb. 20 seconds, so they pretty much have to go for the plant on the B side. There's not really a way that they can actually go rotating with the amount of time left. JR, ooh, he's going to get taken down as well. Now, Kenza may just be the saving grace for this team. Going to go pushing. He spots it out and hits it 1 HP. Just going to survive. Wonderful stuff, and he's given Prosto more than a lifeline, as now they even things up going into their buy round. And this is anyone's game.
I mean, Kenza's heart has to be racing. 1 HP left on him. And they managed to win it out. Vega must be kicking themselves. Throwing that round away. Now it's 14-14 on the back of an almost full eco. Kenza, the only player to invest anything. They actually managed to win that out. They've got plenty of cash to invest. Losing this for either side now is just awful, because if you lose, you're going to have no money into the next round. Either side on the cusp of being reset, so this victory is pivotal for the team that wants to win this map out. And Def opening things up by dropping out Mir, one of the most important players on Vega. It's going to be a fantastic start for Prosto to try and have this comeback.
Yeah, I'm trying to shoot back where the smoke was thrown, but he's not going to be able to find anything as of yet. Players making their way up connector. Too much presence in this position either. They're holding further out behind the window, just so there's no way they can actually sneak around. But this is a lot of map control gained. This is scary. Smite gonna go peeking. He will spot out and he'll win the duel. More importantly, Def holding as well, looking like they're edging their way towards what could be this map point. JR, the only man that stands in their way in a 1 versus 3. Be crossing over to the site. Bomb plant, very important for them going forward into the next round.
Yeah, and any damage he can do is going to be just as important on the site in the 1v3 spots. The player downstairs, but then the double peek comes in through CT. Too many angles to watch on his own, and he will go down. Finding that little bit of damage is going to come in handy, but the buy will still be able to come in no problem from Prosto. They could be a little bit limited in terms of their utility, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Yeah, they're going to have everything they could possibly need. And now, Vega, force buying down. They might have just thrown this one away in these last couple of rounds. The second they allow Kenza to get that 1v2 with just a 5-7. It's all gone so wrong since then. And well, the buy for Vega consisting of 2 UMPs, 3 rifles. They're just going to make their way out towards mid. Def going to be holding it, trying to find something early on as the smoke is down. They just go charging up through connector. Unwarranted aggression charging in here towards the A bomb site. 3 players here with Chopper about to push out now from Palace. Does damage on the Smite, but Kenza's going to be there to find him. And that was looking like the trade should have come through, but Kenza's going to open things up out towards A. Gets a nice double, putting it into the 2-on-4. Kenza just a driving force behind Prosto, single-handedly carrying them through these last couple of rounds. Mir does at least dispatch of Crush. He's worked his way into the back lines. The bomb looking like it might try rotating around over here towards B. Flaric going to be here alone, and now with a lot of angles left to worry about. Mir holding this A bomb site down. Kenza and Smike on 32 HP between them, both dead in 1 shot from this M4. Flaric still over here at B, and actually look at this aggression coming in from Smike. He's pushed all the way up through T-spawn, getting so much information on the back of this play. Flaric going to be rerouting around over towards shop. This could be perfect here for Prosto. It all depends on whether or not Mir goes down, and he will. So now it all falls onto JR in the 1v3. Bomb should get planted, but I think he first wants to try and deal with Flaric in shop. Look at Smike, he's so close on short, so incredibly close, and that's it. JR will go down. Prosto win out this second map. That means we are going to have a third. Cash, of course, goes the way of Vega early on, and now Mirage goes the way of Prosto, meaning Nuke will be our decider.
Even towards the end, there was still just that belief that they could pull this one back with Mir, the back lines, and also having all the amount of damage that was done, but it is the map going the way of Prosto. They've managed to pull things off, looking like they were going to throw it away, but some massive plays coming in, able to get those clutches. Kenza with the 5-7, the biggest one of the game pretty much. He also has an ace previously in there, so definitely having impact in this map, and we're going to see if they can carry that on. Of course, it comes down to one more map. The winner of it takes the qualifier spot. The other will be going home, and they will stay there, as they will not be going off to fight at the PGL Major Qualifier. Find out after the break who will be getting the spot, and I'm very excited.